Sorry about that. I had to sneeze. um, I don't even know how to tell you what happened. I'm not going to get graphic. I don't want to go into the details on here. But that night I was violently sexually assaulted. Um, he shoved me into a room that I didn't know. Everyone else was out front. I don't know where his cousin and his big brother were, but the two little brothers were playing in a band somewhere and they weren't home yet. He slapped the daylights out of me, and I mean rang my bell. I couldn't figure things. It just jumbled me. And then he took my hands and bound them over my head, threw me across the bed, and tried to suffocate me. And my legs were hanging off the bed. But I mean, he had my face to where I couldn't move at all. My nose was smashed, my mouth was full, and I couldn't breathe. Could not breathe. And somehow I managed to wriggle down and break the seal, I guess. And I caught my breath, got on the floor and stuck my face under the bed trying to breathe. And I was saying, I can't breathe, I can't breathe. And then I was screaming, I can't breathe. And he slapped the crap out of me again. He put his hands around my throat, not tight enough to strangle me, but grabbed me by the hair, threw me back up on the bed. And this went on again and again and again, probably for about an hour, 45 minutes to an hour. I was actually really probably more in shock than traumatized. Something happened by the grace of God that spooked him, and he ran out, and I grabbed my stuff and I got out so fast, and I ran out the same back door that we went into the house in, and he's just sitting there in a chair with his arms behind his head talking to his little brother. They had come back from playing in the band, and I think he heard their voice, and he didn't want him to know what he was doing. And I really have a feeling that those brothers know that he has done stuff like this before. But anyway, I grabbed my stuff and I ran, got in my car and drove home as fast as I could, crying the whole way. I even left my grandson there, but thankfully, Sandy wouldn't leave him. Ashley's brother was already on his way to come pick her up. And I mean to tell you, I screamed and I cried for hours that night. I finally fell asleep. The next few days, I was really in shock. I couldn't make a decision to save my life. I couldn't decide right, left, up, down, nothing. I couldn't do anything. I told my grandson a little bit, but he told me not to tell him everything because he didn't want to have to go over there and kill the guy. Which he wouldn't have, but he would have liked to. Anyway, the second day later, Ashley called and wanted to ride to work, and I told her I couldn't, and I told her a little bit about what happened, told her James could drive my car and take her to work, and she really wanted to see me, so I ended up going, and she hugged me, and we cried, and took her to work, and since we were already out and I had clothes on, I said, James, take me to my doctor's office. These bruises around my wrist are going to fade, and I'd like to have them photo document. And that was my first decision. And so we went to my doctor's office, which I've been to for years, and it was warm. It's inviting. For some reason, I had in my head that when you go for that type of an exam, it's almost like getting your mug shots. Stand up against this white wall, take off all your clothes, spread your arms, spread your legs. That's what I envisioned, and I was terrified. My doctor's office told me I needed to go to a SANE hospital, which is sexual assault nurse exam. And if I did decide to press charges, that would be a very key, important thing that I went through them. So I went to the SANE hospital. They were absolutely incredible. They called TPD, and it's like I didn't have to make any decisions. They took me by the hand and gently walked me through step by step by step by step. And it got to a point where I wasn't the one pressing charges.